It is an inflated inflation. The inflation was created by how many notes they printed. They are producing more oil when it was worth $2 to $3 a pop. According to General Hutant, at one time it was legitimately worth $3. Look at their oil production then, their economy then, the amount of notes they had. They have more customers, producing more oil. So what is keeping the value of the dinar down? It is the amount of notes that are out in circulation. Iraq has the opportunity to call in those notes and add value to its currency. Due to what the GOI and CBI are instructing us, I am moving my family to the city where the bank is, where me and my boss work. The reason why is due to the fact that my boss told me you're going to be very busy very soon. Aki is bringing his family from the state that he lives in, he's bringing them down south of that state, to be closer to this bank that he's in charge of. Aki must have a very good idea of this true time frame because he's moving his family to the bank's location. This target date has to be EMO within arm's reach. A couple of groups are working hard and they are being told that this is their month. Crossing my fingers it is true and we don't get another letdown. But there is certainly a lot of chatter right now, at some point they have to pull the trigger. Fantastic news over the weekend, it just needs to manifest. It was last month that Sudani said right around the middle of February that at the end of February, we will bring the budget tables. Then towards the end of last month he says I'm going to do it at the beginning of March, on the 3rd of March he comes out and he says I'm going to do this at the middle of March. Here we are headed towards the middle of March in about another week and he just made an announcement. He says I'm going to expose the budget tables at the end of March. We went from the end of February to the beginning of March, to the middle of March. What is April 1st? What did Dr. Shabibi want when he wanted to release the new exchange rate? The beginning or end of a year or the beginning of a quarter? The Central Bank of Iraq, CBI, has concluded its first quarterly meetings of 2025 with the U.S. Treasury Department and the Federal Reserve Bank, held in Dubai, UAE, with participation from international auditing and consulting firms, Ernst & Young, K2 Integrity, K2I, and Oliver Wyman. Here we see the meetings I reported some days ago are bearing fruit. We should all realize that Iraq has spent many billions of dollars to update their banking system with state-of-the-art features. Understand, a suppressed currency is not tradable internationally due to lack of faith and trust. Such massive ongoing improvements are aimed at a superior currency that will soon debut on the world stage. Unfortunately, we cannot have a definitive timing. Government Advisor, 2025 budget will reach Parliament before end of Ramadan. Salah indicated that the budget schedules are expected to reach Parliament before the end of Ramadan, which falls at the end of March. What they've told us is that going into 2025 they were going to end the currency auctions. They did say they transitioned to that new method of transferring foreign currencies abroad, allowing specific local banks within the country of Iraq to send the foreign currencies, but they never officially ended the currency auctions. We know the currency auctions have to end at least by the time the rate changes. We also know that from last November through the end of January the currency auctions went up from about $280 million to $300 million, then in January of this year, went higher from $290 million to $300 million. Their actions of incrementing the currency auctions to higher amounts suggest we're getting very close to nearing the end of this. I know this blessing is coming not because I know a date or a rate but because I understand what the United States Treasury, Donald Trump and Sudani are doing with the CBI. Washington calls on Iraq to dispense with Iran's energy as soon as possible, major gas projects fixed or floating platforms to boost energy in Iraq. This is so they no longer need Iranian gas, and no longer flare or burn off gas to save money and help the environment. They hope to be independent from Iranian energy within 4 months. There is a huge push to stop Iranian influence so Iraq can move forward. Investment opportunities are expanding. FAO is preparing to transform into the largest industrial city in the Middle East, and MF confirms support for Iraq in developing financial policies. Quote, "The development road will transform Iraq into a pivotal commercial center linking the East and the West through advanced industrial cities extending from Al Khor to the Turkish border. All I can say is wow. 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 How can the dinar ever stay at 1/6 of a penny in the near future?" Question: do you think Trump will go to Iraq on Saudi trip? No, I don't believe he's gonna come. The only way is if Sudani pulls the trigger on the exchange rate. Prime Minister Mohammed Shia al-Sudani affirmed Iraq's commitment to expanding economic relations with the United States, while the latter indicated that ending the exemption for electricity supplied from Iran is linked to the policy of maximum pressure, as the office stated in a statement that al-Sudani received a phone call on Sunday evening from U.S. National Security Advisor Michael Waltz, where the two sides affirmed their commitment to strengthening and deepening the strategic partnership between Iraq and the United States. Discussions focused on enhancing bilateral cooperation in the economic and security fields, with the Prime Minister affirming Iraq's commitment to expanding economic relations with the United States, encouraging American companies to invest in the growing Iraqi market, and reviewing the important reforms and initiatives implemented by his government to create a more stable, transparent, and attractive environment for investors. In return, the U.S. National Security Advisor, according to the statement, encouraged the Prime Minister to rely more on American companies, and to work to solve the problems and remove the obstacles facing those companies operating in Iraq, including the Kurdistan region of Iraq, to encourage them to work and invest in Iraq. The two sides stressed the importance of joint efforts to build a strong Iraq capable of relying on itself, and the discussions also included addressing issues and the role of American companies operating in this field. The United States renewed its commitment to supporting Iraq's energy independence and expressed its readiness to cooperate in accelerating the achievement of this goal. Regarding the security file, Waltz stressed the United States' firm commitment to the security and stability of Iraq in the face of regional and international challenges, and the two sides stressed the importance of continuing cooperation to ensure Iraq's sovereignty and stability in the long term, especially in light of the turbulent conditions in the region. Ending the exemption for electricity supplied from Iran is linked to the maximum pressure policy, which underscores the importance of bilateral coordination to avoid any potential negative effects on